Welcome to Build Your Best Business. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw. Build Your Best Business focuses on the entrepreneurial journey. What does it take to successfully start, manage, grow, and exit a business? Today, I'm joined by Lori Manns. She's the president of Quality Media Consultant Group.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. I like the blue.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
We're matching.
I know. I wear blue often.
I got the memo.
I got it. And so playing into, so tell us a little bit about what your company does.
So Quality Media Consultant Group is a consultancy firm specializing in advertising, sales, and marketing. Okay. So we help entrepreneurs to build their brand, build their business, and increase their bottom line.
Increase that, and a very important part of it.
Yes.
Because often entrepreneurs will start a business around something they like to do or enjoy, but you got to sell it.
Yeah, you got to sell it. It has to be scalable.
Yeah. So what are some of the kinds of, well, at first and foremost, how did you get into this? How did you decide that this was the thing you wanted to do?
Well, advertising and media and marketing was all I ever did. So went to college for communications and thought I was going to be a reporter. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so I decided, well, you know what? I'm better at sales and marketing. I love sales. I love to market. And I was always good at running my mouth. So I figured that I should be, if I wasn't going to be, with the microphone in front of my face interviewing somebody, then I should be at least talking to them and trying to persuade them to buy something.
Got it.
So I got into sales over 20 years ago. I won't say how long.
That's okay. Some of us are in the same boat. So.
And so I spent 19 years in radio sales in Atlanta and Nashville.
Oh, did you?
Then,
okay.
When I got downsized in 2009, I decided that I did not want to work for anyone else anymore and opened my own business. Okay. Of course, I didn't know what I didn't know at that time, but I've learned much.
But coming out and knowing the sales part of it can definitely be an advantage.
Yeah.
Because I that is a thing that entrepreneurs struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're always selling. They realize
just don't know.
it. Yeah. I mean, if you're doing a raise, if you're trying to hire an employee, like you're selling your idea. You're selling what you're doing.
You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a skill. It's an acquired skill, but most entrepreneurs don't realize that if you have a business, you are a salesperson. And if you're not going to sell authentically and you're not going to sell what I like to call soulfully, people can smell it a mile away if you're not real and if you don't really understand the process of sales. And they'll know that you're a newbie and it'll be like, not wanting to be, associated with you at all because no one likes to be sold.
Nope. They want to buy.
Yeah, they just want to buy.
So what are some mistakes common mistakes you see people making in this category?
Well, one of the big things is when entrepreneurs think that everyone wants to buy what they're selling, or they think that everyone is their target market, and they think that they should, basically not niche down because they're afraid they're going to miss somebody. Yeah,
and it's a crazy problem, and you hear it all the time. Our product's for everybody, or our service is for everybody, which means nobody knows how to relate to it.
Right.
If it's not niche enough, then I can't figure out what that is.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my mind around it.
Well, the thing is, if people see your message, your advertising, your marketing, whatever the case is, and they're not able to identify and relate, like you said, then they can't self-qualify themselves and go, well, that's for me.
Right.
And I should act on that because I think that really is, the answer to my problem or the solution to my need. And if they can't see themselves in the picture, then they're not going to want to be a part of it. So you have to really paint the picture in a way that attracts your target market to you and then sell them at the same time.
Got it. So you're doing a little of both.
You're doing a little bit of both.
A little bit. And that's a lesson I learned early in some of my sales exercises around how you niche down and make sure that you are speaking like an authority, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that. There's a lot of art.
Yeah. Sales is an art and a science.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about getting out there and making a whole bunch of offers. It's about the process that goes into the sales cycle. Because you have to, here's another mistake. People don't necessarily understand how many times they need to touch someone before they make an offer and try to close them. many times people will say one thing to you or contact you one time and expect for you to, okay, great, I'll buy.
Right.
And it's not the way it goes. In sales, you have to establish something called trust.
Yeah.
And the speed of trust doesn't happen so quickly in business as it does in our personal lives.
Right.
People meet and fall in love and love at first sight. It doesn't work that way in business a lot.
Yeah.
And
I had read something interesting recently that kind of framed that a little bit for me on, in the B2C side, if I make a decision, if I'm specifically buying something for myself that's not a business decision, I made the mistake. Nobody knows it, whatever. If I buy for the business, or it's a big deal. My boss may know it. My employees may know about it. Like there's so much tied up in that decision.
Yeah, it's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so how do you work with company or individuals and companies to get them kind of around some of the things they're doing wrong?
Well, the first piece is to educate. Sometimes, like I said with me, people don't know what they don't know. And when they don't know that they're making the mistake, first you have to point it out and say, hey, you might be doing this.
Okay.
And if you're doing this, here's the effect that it could be having on your business and your bottom line.
Right.
And the money that you could be making. And so once you bring people into the awareness of a problem, then that's when you can start giving them options for treatment. So a lot of times, just like when we go to the doctor, we might have some symptoms of something and we don't know what's causing that. But
we like to self-diagnose too.
Well, we do that too. And, and people in business always self-diagnose. But sometimes it helps to actually get a professional to sit and look at your business and say, here are some red flags. Here's some things that you could be doing better. And here's some things that you should be doing better. And so when people come to me as new clients and prospects, basically I just do an assessment and look at where they are in relationship to their goals and where they're trying to achieve and where they're trying to end up, in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And so we look at their sales plan, we look at their marketing plan, and we look at their business development plan because it's about all of that.
Yeah. It's got to all tie together.
Yeah.
And what I like is the goal part of it, because often that's the missing component. They haven't thought through like where do you want to be? Yeah, where you want to be. In the process of helping people understand sales or understand how their approach, are you like watching them do a sales pitch? You have them pitch you? Like, how do you do that?
No. Well, I put it to you this way. And when I do live events, I do put people in front of the room and I let them pitch me.
Yeah.
And I see what they're doing and then I show them the right way to pitch. But in a consulting, whether it be a one-on-one coaching or consulting session or a group, basically we are doing some role playing. We are doing some active sales examples, if you will. But the most important thing is to really just teach people about the process of what they should be doing. And like most people, when they start businesses, they don't know what a sales funnel is and how it starts from you generating the leads. And so in terms of just the cycle of sales itself, it really is an education piece just to let people know this is how you sell. It's not just going out and slapping some, pictures on Instagram and hoping somebody clicks.
Social is good, but
social is good.
It's not the only thing, though.
But it's not the only thing.
Right. Yeah.
And so you have to tell people, and even social media, there's a way to socially sell. You don't just sell on social media. You educate, you entertain, you do a lot of things. You just don't sell on social media.
Yeah. And seeing those different activities as what they're for. So being top of mind, that you show up and that, I'm going to remember somebody who shows up over somebody who doesn't.
Exactly.
And it's a way for you to show up in my ecosystem in an interesting way.
And it's the consistency piece. When you think about when you go into a retail location, if that salesperson is just following you around the store trying to, sell you something, you're going to be really uncomfortable and really put off.
Right.
But if they just, casually smile at you and say, hey, just wanted to let you know we have some specials going on today.
Right.
And if you're interested, check out so-and-so.
Well, and how many of us have honestly ever answered a salesperson who's like, can I help you?
Like, really?
No. Even if you could help me. Because I've had my wife say, we actually could use help.
Right.
Like, we don't know where we are. We don't know where we know why we're here.
We really need help.
We could be done. But no, you just tell him no. I'm like, that's what you answer. You say no. So, okay, we're going to go to commercial break. And when we get back, we'll talk a little bit about, you've got a workshop coming up. Yes.
Yeah.
And so putting that together, some things that you've learned, things like that. So I'm talking today with Lori Manns. She's president of Quality Media Consulting Group. You're listening to Build Your Best Business. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw. We'll be back in just a minute.
Eric, tell us about Laddering Works.
So Laddering Works is a company that helps other businesses in one of two ways.
Okay.
So your company is either growing and you're not exactly sure how to keep up. So you need to scale operations, maybe raise some money, those kind of things.
So growing too fast.
Growing too fast. Growing too fast. You got kind of structural, you walk in every day, there's a fire. You've been doing it longer than 3 years or 1,000 days, and you still feel like you can't step away from the business and take a vacation. So we help companies on that side. So sort of operational support, looking at their financing, seeing if there's a way that we can help them, get to the next level. Or you're a company that's not doing any marketing at all. So you are maybe stalled. Your business has gotten to a certain level. You make a certain amount of money every year, but you've never gotten above that. And we come in and build marketing structure. So both of them are operational at the end of the day. It's about creating a process and a way to approach it that's strategic. It's that owners don't often know how to do both of those. So they're really good at sales, which means they may need operational structure because they're out signing more customers than they know what to do with. Or they've built a beautiful product that's the best kept secret. And so they need somebody to come in and help them market that product. And so that's the kind of businesses we look for. We come in as a stopgap, and we work with a company for somewhere around 12 to 18 months typically, solve those problems for them and leave them better than we found them. And we're back. You're listening to Build Your Best Business. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw. I'm talking today with Lori Manns. She's president of Quality Media Consulting Group, focused on a very important part of the overall business. Like if you're not selling, if you don't have customers, then you don't really have a business.
No, you
have a
don't.
Hobby or an idea.
Just something you do for fun.
So you've got a set of workshops that you're doing. So talk to me about why and what the workshop's about and how that works. Yeah.
So I put together a tour, and it's called the Sponsorship Sales Secrets Workshop Tour.
Sponsorship Sales Secrets Workshop.
Just say
tour.
Workshop, yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
It's a sales workshop, and the whole reason that I put it together was because several years ago I started a YouTube channel, and I would put up videos about business tips on sales, marketing, advertising, the things that I know about.
Right.
And so I put up this video about how to attract sponsors to your business, and it was my best video ever.
Wow.
It didn't go viral, but it got like over 10,000 and some odd views. And so I was like, oh, I'm on to something here. And I decided to start doing webinars about sponsorship selling. And then I decided to start doing just a little kit, like a workshop kit, to actually educate people on how to get sponsors for their business, because that's another thing that entrepreneurs don't know that they can do is get corporations to partner with them and sponsor them.
Yeah.
And so I did the webinars and I did the little workshops in Atlanta. And then I started having people on social media ask me, well, I can't get to Atlanta, but can you come here?
Right.
And I was like, no, why don't you get to Atlanta? It's only a flight.
Right.
Southwest has good rates. But so I said, okay, well, maybe that's something I should think about doing, is going on tour and teaching entrepreneurs all across the U.S. how they can get sponsors. And so, I'm not Bruno or Beyonce or anybody, but I said, okay,
You're on tour.
I'm going on tour.
I like it. I like it. If it worked for them, it should work for you.
If it worked for them, yeah.
Right.
So I decided, I'm going to do small, and go to a couple of cities and invite entrepreneurs to come out and learn about selling, sales mastery, and sponsorship.
So talk to me, define sponsorship sales, if I don't know what that is.
So sponsorship sales is basically getting a company, whether it be a corporate Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 or any company, to pay for something that you do.
Okay.
And so it is they're basically paying for partnership. And it is basically something that, when you have a business and you have events, for example, or you have a book and you have a book tour, for example, or an open house, and you want to bring people into your business and educate them about what you do and then make them an offer. Well, a sponsor could be interested in that based upon your audience and their audience, and if there's some synergy and common ground there. And so sponsors make doing business a lot easier when you have them, because if you help them reach their goals, they'll help you reach yours.
Yeah, and I see I've got a friend of mine who does she's a CPA, and she's got a sponsorship, some type of agreement with QuickBooks. And so
good.
She does QuickBooks,
Perfect.
and they do a chat and all that kind of stuff, and it plays well because she's going to suggest their software anytime she brings a new client on, and at the same time she's spreading the message for them, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's hard sometimes for those brands to tell the story, but they have these kind of
someone else is telling the story for you, it makes a lot more weight. Well, the other thing too is this same CPA could also work with banks and financial institutions, and investment houses. So the list goes on, and the opportunities are endless if you know how to reach out to the corporate sponsor, or if you know how to reach out to a local company even and get them to sponsor you. The fact is you have to add value to them. And many times I realized that entrepreneurs did not know that this even existed for a micro business owner or a solo entrepreneur. And so I wanted to just educate them about this category of, revenue increase, and adding a revenue stream in your business that could potentially be profitable and proven successful after just, 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, and I like you talking about adding a revenue stream, because that's often the problem with businesses that I'm working with. They may have one really big customer, one revenue stream, and they haven't thought about that diversification. And what happens if one goes away, or the other may be just supplementary, like it's the thing that lets you do the special projects and the special deals, because everything else is paid for by the core business. Mm-hmm. So that's the way you get the new space, or you do the thing, right?
It's the ability to expand, and to not just be so regimented with one way to make money. Yeah. And if you have a couple of different ways to make money in your business, like you said, when one contract doesn't renew or one big customer goes away, you have something else that's proven to fall back on. Yeah. You have the knowledge and the capability to go out and get other business.
So I have a question for you. I'm going to step back a little bit.
Okay.
As someone's building a business, the greatest tightrope for them, in my opinion, and talking with them, and even personally, they know what they know very well. So they may have built a great product, a great service. They're an expert in a category. They know how to deliver the business. Then as you start to go out into that sales piece, you only get to talk to so many prospects. You only get to work with so many customers. So there's this a tightrope, right? If you fall off of it, all of a sudden, I got to go find another customer. And you feel like you don't have enough chances or times to practice.
Yeah.
Like when you're selling your service, you've done this a million times, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But sales is one of these things. Like what do you advise to people to how do you tell them to get good at sales?
Well, it's like with anything else, practice makes perfect. And the first thing you have to practice is your pitch. What are you telling people about your business? What is the brand promise that you say that you would deliver if they come into your business, whether they come online or offline? What can they expect? And so that's the first thing, is letting them know, what is your brand promise? What is it that you offer, and who does it help?
Okay.
And so you can't get good at sales without getting good at pitching.
Okay.
And in order to pitch, you have to be good on what's your brand promise, who is it for, and how do you help them? And if you answer those 3 questions, and then you can't forget about why should they care?
Right.
And if you answer the why should they
it's
care?
good for me. Well, I'll make some money, right?
You know, when you think about the person on the other end of the sales cycle, why should they care about your product? Why should they care about your service?
Yeah.
Why should they care about you? And what distinguishes you? And when you get good at pitching yourself and your business and delivering that question in everybody's mind, like, why should I care? And delivering that answer in a compelling way, then that's how you get good at sales. That's how you get good at making offers. And it's practicing what you say each and every time. And it's knowing your product and your service inside and out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's a funny, like knowing it, but knowing it from the customer's perspective.
From the customer's perspective, because then you're able to anticipate objections because they're going to come up.
Right.
So if you know your product inside and out or your service inside and out and what they can expect to get from it, then you can talk about that and you can speak to that, and then you can bring up those objections before they even do.
Yeah.
And so you're able to then speak to that, and then when you sit and ask them, okay, do you have any questions for me? They don't have any because you've already answered them.
Yeah.
Or if they do have a question, it's when can we start?
And that's the best question.
Or where do I sign?
And so finding out more information about your workshops, like where can I go to get that and learn about it?
Yeah, so the Sponsorship Sales Secrets Workshop Tour is at www.sponsorshipsalesecrets.com.
Sponsorshipsalesecrets.com.
Sponsorshipsalesecrets.com.
And being a salesperson, I bet there's other stuff there too.
Yeah, there's stuff about me. There's stuff about the training that I do, because the workshop actually feeds into the conference that I do for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Every year I host a 2-day conference for entrepreneurs right here in the city who want to learn about sponsorship selling, as well as they want to, tighten their sales game and get better at doing exactly what we've been talking about today.
I think everybody has to tighten their sales game. I mean, that's one of the things. That's one of the hardest. Can be. There's either. I find entrepreneurs fall in 2 categories. They're either really great at sales and kind of bad at operations.
Yeah.
Or really great at operations and not so good at sales.
Yeah.
So, and figuring out how, and you need to know both in order to be successful with it, and figure out, even if you're going to partner with someone, are they doing the part correctly, right?
Yeah. So you can't bring people into your business. And I always say this to entrepreneurs who they're like, oh, I need to hire people, or I need to, increase my staff. And they're not really ready to do that yet because they don't know a little bit about everything. And to be a successful CEO or business owner, you have to know a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how are you going to know if somebody's not doing their job?
Right. How can you diagnose it indirect? Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good to catch up with you.
Always good.
Yes. Yeah. So you've been listening to Build Your Best Business. I've been talking with Lori Manns. She's president of Quality Media Consultant Group. And what are you going to do to build your best business? Go out and learn how to be a great salesperson.
A great salesperson. Absolutely.
Until next time, thanks for listening in.